Hello and welcome to another episode of Ashaya Day Trip Productions. Today is Wednesday, November 27th of 2025. It is, of course, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas is approaching fast. So, got my tree kind of going. Don't have everything quite complete yet. Need to get a few more items, some hooks and stuff, so I could finish putting up my bulbs, and perhaps maybe I can get a tree topper. So it is a work in progress, but I just wanted to start off by kind of showing you a little bit some of the new ornaments that I had bought. I went to Walmart probably about 3 weeks ago and picked up a couple of new ones. Like right here in the middle right here, you can see we got Mr. Michael Myers there. And the other two little skeletons out beside him, that is an item that I had purchased from Amazon. It basically was the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil skeletons. So got two of them down here right next to Michael Myers. And that ornament, Michael Myers ornament, was probably about $11 or so, purchased at Walmart. And it's kind of moving on up here, of course. You know, I bought this Beetlejuice, as well as the Chucky from Five Below, shortly, I think it's shortly before Halloween, actually. And then back there is the other ornament, that would be the Hear No Evil ornament. Those, these speak and hear, see no evil ornaments, those were actually meant to be kind of like, I guess you put on your rear view mirror in your car, but I figured they probably work just as well, just kind of using it as an ornament on the tree. And over here on the other side, this is probably the most Christmas inspired ornament I probably will purchase this year. I have a little Garfield. Got this also at the Walmart. This guy here is probably going, I think it was like $6. So not too bad. I was a big fan of Garfield growing up, so I saw that and I figured I wanted to go ahead and get that. They also had like Star Wars characters, and they had like the Grinch, you know, they had the Grinch, and then they had Cindy Lou. I don't know if they had the dog Max or not, but they did have a variety of, you know, the Grinch and Star Wars ornaments too out there if you're interested in maybe heading out there and taking a look. And of course over here I got my Santa that I purchased at home last year. And overstepping over this way, I just kind of went ahead and put out some of the Grinches that I bought last year as well. Got a few other animatronics, or small little animatronics. It's been a minute since I've done a video. I've actually had made a couple of purchases. I've just kind of been, one of which is an issue with me trying to find a way to haul it, so I'm still trying to figure out how to do that, just something that would help me with doing this channel. But I did want to, of course, get out and film some more. So what I did, I think it was probably 2 weeks ago now, I had purchased a scooter from Walmart. And this right here, this is the GoTrax Rival scooter. And this I was like $198, bought from Walmart. I just wanted to kind of point out a few things about it. I did actually ride it last week. And did a little filming, but it didn't quite turn out the way I would have liked. So I just decided what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take this back out and probably just kind of cruise a little bit around, probably downtown Bentonville. But before I head out, I just wanted to kind of show you, just kind of give you a few of my thoughts on this. This here, it goes, I believe, 15.5 miles max per hour. You can get 12.5 miles out of it per charge. Of course, that depends on just, you know, how the conditions are out there, which of course affects the battery usage. It also does fold. I will say that, although just kind of point out what you do is when you fold it, this hook right there latches on to that right there. However, it seems to me be kind of difficult to raise back up, but it does indeed fold. Of course, it does come with a kickstand. Up top here, you do have the bell. You have this is your throttle, and it also has a cruise control. And then here is your power button, which also powers your headlights. It does come with LED headlight. So just kind of turn it on here real quick. And of course it comes with instructions of how many times you have to push the button and hold it down for a few seconds to turn it on, to power it off, to turn the light on. You know, it's just, but the manual tells you all that. But I just want to kind of show you a little bit what the screen looks like. It gives you miles per hour, but if you push the button a couple of times or however many seconds, it does go to kilometers per hour. This, of course, is your charge on your battery. And just kind of show you a little bit how bright the LED is, which you know LED is pretty bright. So this comes in handy, you know, if you're going to be out, you know, maybe once it gets dark, which I don't plan on being out after dark on this, but it is an option for you if that's what interests you. And of course, with the cruise control, I did use this last week, and like it says here, if you can make it out, it says you hold it for 10 seconds, and then that kicks it into cruise control. I think once it does, it'll actually beep, and that's what lets you know that it is indeed in cruise control. So you get up to the speed you want. Hold it in that position for 10 seconds, and then it goes and it beeps at you, and that's telling you that it is in cruise control. It does come with a brake, which is, I believe, is for the rear tire right here, wheel. And these, just want to mention too that these wheels, they are 8.5 inches diameter, and they are about, I measured them, and they're about 2 inches thick. So they're pretty good, decent sized tires. So so now I just wanted to step out to the garage and just show you the box that it came in. Just kind of point out real quick, they do have a QR code there, so if you could make that out and scan it, they'll give you some more information. But this is, like I said, this is the GoTrax Rival folding e-scooter. And I just want to kind of point out what it says here on the box, that it is 8.5 inch air-filled tires. It goes a max speed of 15.5 miles per hour. Max distance is 12.5 miles, which of course depends on the conditions. It has a 250 watt motor, LED headlight, and the max weight it can hold is 220 pounds. So, as I stated, I did actually take it out for a little bit, actually it's Saturday, so not a few days ago. Did notice one thing about it is that the brakes, once you apply the brakes, it does kind of seems to skid a little bit. So I just wanted to mention that. So I think if you are a beginner, or if you got a kid or something, you know, you think about getting one for them, my thought would be is just maybe kind of just manual push it for a little bit so you get used to it, you know, used to, you know, keeping it level, and try out the brake a little bit, just kind of see how it feels and try to get used to it. I myself don't plan on doing any hot riding, so I don't plan on getting up to 15.5 miles per hour. Probably not even close. I did get up to about 7 miles per hour, and I thought that was plenty for my purposes. So it says over here that this is for ages 13 and up. I would say my thought is it's because it does have the potential to get up to 15.5 miles per hour, that might be just a little too much for somebody 13, so maybe, I don't know, maybe 15, 16 might be a good age. Of course, you know, it just depends on the kids. You know, some kids are just at a different level, you know, just a maturity level, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of come out here and point that out to you. So what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to, like I said, just going to kind of get loaded up. The scooter is I think about 24 pounds. I think that might be a little much. 20 some odd pounds, either way. So I'm going to load it up and head out. We're just going to kind of go to downtown Bentonville, just take a little scooter ride. So let's roll. All right, so I have made my way to downtown Bentonville. And I wound up parking back in the parking garage where I usually park, kind of up on the top level. So what I'm going to do now is I'm pretty much, of course, obviously, one thing I do always wear a helmet, and I always recommend that anybody and everybody wear a helmet. I don't care what your experience is. I don't care what your age is. Just to say that off the bat. So I'm going to kind of get everything kind of situated. I got the GoPro kind of mounted on a wrist mount. So we're just going to kind of take a ride around a little real quick. I'm kind of near a trail, so I definitely want to get out on that. And a couple of things also about the scooter, if you're aware, I'm sure most of you are, you know, when it comes to scooters, that you want to be on a level surface. You know, they don't do real good on bumps and hills, or, you know, because, you know, it's easy to get kind of, you know, to lose control, you know, if you're going over kind of like a bump or anything like that. And also this scooter in particular, it is a kind of a push start, so you have to kind of push it, just kind of give it a little speed, and then you can just you know, put your thumb on the throttle, and then it goes from there. So I just kind of want to mention that before I forget. So without further ado, gonna head out on the trail right now. So here we go. Alright, so that's the parking garage right there. Parked up on the top level. And there is other parking in the area. Of course, you can pretty much Google it, and you can kind of see the P's for the parking. If you drive around, they do have signs that tell you where there is free parking. Want to kind of get downhill a little bit before I start going. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of ride around a little bit. Haven't taken this trail before, so I'm just going to kind of see where it goes. Going to kind of take it slow because I am pretty new at this. So without further ado, going to power it on. And going to get started. So it does look a little steep down here. So honestly, I may not be a best place for a beginner. But I figure since I don't come down here, it might be a good time to just kind of check it out, see what it's looking like. This is called the Howard. Okay. Well, I tell you what, this is probably going to be a little steep for me. So I think what we'll do is probably just kind of head back the other way. Looks like got trails that kind of go off over this. Okay, so this is the Razorback Greenway. I guess you park over here too, to my right. There's the beep. Says tell me right now cruising along probably about 6 point something. It doesn't hold. Cruise kind of fluctuates a little bit, kind of course, you know, depending on the steepness. Alright, so that was kind of a short little trip. My thoughts on it, of course, I didn't go down the Greenway Trail because I'm not familiar with that trail as far as what it looks like, as far as the levels and all that. I do know there's other places where I could jump on that trail, which I know are going to be a little bit, for sure, going to be a little bit more level for riding a scooter down. Downtown Bentonville, as far as scooting around there, riding a bike, I think it's within a mile of the square, you have to ride out in the street because they don't want you riding that stuff on sidewalks. You know, you got pedestrians everywhere, so that's just for safety reasons why they don't want you to do that. So what I think I'm going to do right now is just kind of have a few other ideas in mind. Of course, you know, so I want to get my practice in, if nothing else. So here we go. Well, I tell you what, if all else fails, I know I could come out to good old Osage Park here in Bentonville. Of course, this is where Bentonville Lake is. I was actually out here last week, or Saturday, riding the scooter. So I know this terrain a little bit, so I think what I'm going to do is just kind of ride around a little bit. Of course, we do have people out, but it's not too busy right now. So that's right over here. That's a new art piece that was installed, I believe, shortly after some of the major storms that came through. Not sure how long ago that's been. I think time kind of runs together after a while, but nonetheless. And I do believe that is the same artist that the piece that was there before this one. I believe it's the same artist that created both. Of course, over there is a pavilion. You got your pickleball courts over there. And this right here is the little food section. Of course, it is Thanksgiving, so they are closed. And over there, over yonder, is the dog park. It's a good-sized dog park. And of course, you got people with their motorcycles. You can hear the music a mile away. All right, here we go. Oops. So you have to hold the throttle steady for about 10 seconds for it to kick into the cruise control. Not too much going on today. Ran right into a spider web going from tree to tree across the sidewalk. Ew. Oh. That little beep, that's the cruise control. Right now cruising along anywhere from 5.8 to it's like 6.1 miles per hour. So I think if it's not too crowded out here, this will probably be one of your better spots to bike ride or scooter ride. It's pretty level. Of course, they do have boardwalks out here, so you're gonna have to walk if you come across the boardwalks. Yeah, it kind of sucks that Bentonville kind of went out there. I was hoping I kind of maybe scoot around a little bit, but unfortunately there's a bird over there. After a little fish. Oh, God. No. Not too many people out fishing right now. I definitely see some movement in the water, but honestly, that could be a fish or it could be a turtle. So the area does have quite a few turtles. Alright, moving on. Yeah, it looks like back that way, the boardwalk right there. I've never been out that way. I actually walked up there just ever so slightly on Saturday. Looks like people, like there's some paths back there, people been fishing. Not too sure how far that boardwalk goes back. And back there, that is the archery range. It's called the Criver. So it's basically, I'm not sure, I can't read both those signs, but it looks like Southwest F Street. Of course, there's houses out here. So there's a little bit more parking if I want to come out this way. Called the Quiver Archery Range. It's kind of right behind the dog park. Spider road. So right now, on cruise control, I'm just doing still about the average of 5.8 to 6.1 miles per hour. And it's a good speed. Nothing crazy. So that way, just tap the throttle again. It kicks it out of cruise control. So I'm just kind of going slow enough where I can pretty much just kind of step off. Alright, so I hope you have enjoyed today's video. I just kind of want to do something, just kind of, I know with Christmas coming up, some people may be interested in trying to maybe buying a scooter. So I just kind of want to put in my 2 cents worth of just my thoughts on this little scooter that I bought. Once again, it is a GoTrax Rival. I spent about $198 on it at Walmart. So not a bad scooter. I think most certainly for a beginner scooter. My biggest concern, is of course, the braking. Also, turning is going to be a little tricky to learn, just because you don't have a turn radius like you do in a car. It's going to be pretty much like a wide turn, I guess. And so along with that, I went right around here out at the lake. There's one spot where there's a little bit of a quite a little, not a major bump, but enough, you could feel it. And that's one thing about these scooters, they're smaller wheels, so you're definitely gonna feel a bump. I imagine it's probably easy to get loose control, if you're not careful. So most certainly watch your speed. If you have kids, make sure that they know, hey, watch your speed, kind of keep an eye on them for a little bit, at least while they're learning. So that's gonna do it all for me today. Until next time, bye.